Older than the Amazon, more threatened than any rainforest on Earth, the Atlantic forest survived 60 million years, until humans destroyed most of it in just 500 years. Once covering Brazil's entire coast, it now exists only in small, isolated fragments. Yet these remnants hold more unique life forms than almost anywhere on the planet. Scientists discover new species here every year, while others vanish before we can study them. In this ancient forest lives the highest concentration of endemic species in the world. Stay with me as we uncover the Atlantic forest's hidden wonders, unique species and rare discoveries. You'll wonder why no one ever told you about them before. Found within the Atlantic forest are Margays, small wild cats that have evolved for life in dense forests. Uniquely, their ankle joints can rotate 180 degrees, allowing for superb agility and the ability to climb down trees head first. This adaptation gives them an edge in pursuing prey such as birds, eggs, tree frogs, and small mammals. Additionally, they have large eyes that help them see in low light, as Margays are mostly nocturnal, and long tails support perfect balance when leaping between branches. In fact, these animals are arboreal and rarely seen on the ground, migrating between patches of forest when necessary. They sometimes mimic the calls of prey animals, especially small monkeys, to lure them closer, which is a trait not widely shared by other cats. Monkeys that are often a target of the Margays' call imitations include the golden lion Tamarins, which are also frequently found among the trees. Using long digits and claws for running, climbing, and foraging among tree branches, they tend to move frequently and sleep in multiple dens to evade predators. These elongated fingers of theirs also help them pry under bark, probe epiphytes, and dig in rotten logs for food. Fruit is their primary source of food during rainy seasons, though insects and small animals become more important when fruit is scarce. Due to their constant movement, their home ranges cover large areas, with territories averaging over 120 hectares, sometimes even shared minimally with neighbouring groups. Unfortunately, due to logging, agriculture, urban sprawl and deforestation, only a small fraction of their original habitat remains, resulting in their current classification as critically endangered. A common neighbouring group of animals with the Tamarins is the Capuchin monkeys, who often share overlapping territory and target similar foods, including fruits, eggs and insects. They are larger and more dominant, sometimes outcompeting tamarins or preying on young animals. These animals are also well regarded for their high intelligence, having demonstrated advanced cognitive abilities among New World monkeys and rivaling great apes. In fact, they have been observed using leaves to scoop water and washing their foraged fruits before eating. The Capuchin monkeys also have complex social structures that involve grooming, vocal communication, and cooperative care. Their loud vocalizations and social interactions are central to group cohesion and territorial defence. The Harpy eagle is another factor that led to the endangerment of tamarins, as it is a powerful raptor known to hunt medium-sized mammals like them. Breeding-wise, these eagles usually form monogamous pairs and generally raise only one chick to fledging. The chick is cared for and fed intensively by both parents over several months until it can fly and hunt independently. The adult's primary hunting style is by ambush from perches in the canopy, as their large wingspan allows for sudden bursts of speed and manoeuvrability in dense forest environments. Otherwise, they are largely sedentary and simply occupy their territories year-round. Due to their size and hunting requirements, they avoid heavily fragmented areas. The Serra do Mar State Park protects one of the largest remnants of the Atlantic forest, covering about 820,000 acres across 25 municipalities. It stretches from the border of the neighbouring state near the coast, running through rugged mountain ranges and dense forests. Its name translates to Sea's Ridge, referencing the steep escarpments that run parallel to the Atlantic Ocean coast. It safeguards water sources critical for supplying surrounding metropolitan areas and coastal regions. The park contributes to slope stability and helps regulate local climate through its large forest cover. Several traditional human communities still reside inside, including Quilombolas, Amerindians, Caipiras, and Caitaras, maintaining cultural connections to the land. Cachoeira da Fumaça is a waterfall in Bahia, notable for its 1,120 feet vertical drop, making it one of the tallest waterfalls in the region. Its name, Fumaça, which means smoke, comes from the way the water spray is dispersed by the wind before it reaches the ground, often creating a misty veil that resembles smoke rising from the cliff edge. Inhabiting humid forests close to clean, flowing streams is the glass frog, as such environments are essential for its reproductive cycle. It is a small amphibian, noted for its translucent skin on the underside, which makes its internal organs and bones visible. This unique trait helps it blend into its environment by breaking up its outline when resting on leaves, offering camouflage against predators, while its greenback helps blend it with foliage during the day. It also has sticky pads on its toes to cling to smooth, wet leaves near streams. It rarely travels far from its breeding sites, generally restricted to territories along stream banks. This frog has many threats, such as predatory birds, snakes and larger amphibians or reptiles, as well as habitat destruction via pollution and water contamination. Sharing similar predators are the toucans, which are a wide variety of tropical forest birds recognised for their large, brightly coloured bills that can be nearly as long as their bodies. Mostly non-migratory birds, toucans generally stay within their forest territories year-round. However, their home ranges vary by species size, food availability, and habitat. Since some species may show local movements following fruit abundance. Since they feed mainly on fruits and plants, they play an essential role in seed dispersal, promoting forest regeneration. The largest and most recognisable toucan species is the toco toucan, measuring around 22 to 26 inches in length and weighing about 1.2 pounds. It is famous for its enormous yellow-orange bill with a black spot at the tip, which is surprisingly lightweight due to its hollow keratin structure. This bill is very significant in thermoregulation, as the blood flow to the bill can be adjusted to help cool the bird. Despite their large bill and body, toco toucans have relatively short wings and are not strong flyers, relying on hopping and short flights through open and edge habitats. Otherwise, their weak flight makes escape from predators in dense forest areas challenging. A medium-sized variation of the toucan is the chestnut-eared Araucaria, named after the distinctive chestnut-coloured patch around its ears. Like other toucans, its bill is lightweight, though it prefers dense tropical forests, unlike the Toco toucan. It usually engages in monogamous pair bonds during the breeding season and nests in tree cavities, usually old woodpecker holes. The Araucaria forest is a high-altitude forest located in southern Brazil, characterized by the dominance of the Paraná pine, scientifically known as Araucaria angustifolia. This forest grows mainly between elevations of about 1,600 feet to 5,200 feet, covering mountains and plateaus. The Paraná pine is an iconic and critically endangered coniferous tree species found in the highlands of the Atlantic forest. It is recognisable by its tall, straight trunk, thick, tough, triangular leaves, and large cones that produce edible seeds called pinhão. The tree can grow up to 130 feet tall and often has a trunk diameter of about 3 feet. Its seeds are a vital food source for many forest animals, such as birds and squirrels. In fact, the squirrels here are known for their sharp, ever-growing incisors, making them skilled at cracking hard pine seeds and nuts from the Paraná pine. Their ability to crack open one of the toughest seeds in the forest sets them apart in dietary specialisation. Afterward, they would cache the seeds to prepare for scarce seasons, which in turn also helps regenerate Araucaria forests by inadvertently planting seeds. All until the rain starts pouring down on the Atlantic forest. It falls with surprising power, with the annual totals ranging anywhere from a drenching 47 inches to a soaking 157 inches, depending on where you stand and how high up you climb. Most of the rain occurs year-round, without a distinct dry season, ensuring constant moisture for plants and wildlife. Fortunately, the dense tree cover in the forest positively influences local rainfall through transpiration, releasing water vapour that fuels rain cycles. The rainfall also sustains major rivers and streams flowing from the forest, vital for both wildlife habitats and human communities downstream. However, areas near sea level typically see lower rainfall amounts but remain moist due to proximity to the Atlantic Ocean. Unfortunately, the issues regarding deforestation and forest cover decline have been shown to reduce local rainfall, creating drier conditions regionally. During these rainy periods in the Atlantic forest, the birds within would adapt their behaviour in different ways to cope with the wet environment and take advantage of changing resource availability. Many bird species seek shelter in dense foliage or under tree canopies to avoid heavy rain and maintain warmth. Some species become less active or pause foraging during intense rain, waiting for breaks in showers, while others take advantage of wet conditions to forage on fruit, seeds, nectar, and insects that become easier to find or more active. Additionally, mixed species bird flocks tend to be smaller and less frequent during the rain, likely because breeding demands and shelter reduce group cohesion. Rising above the canopy, a vast system of waterfalls called the Iguazu Falls can be found, serving as another water source for the birds of the forest. The falls form a horseshoe-shaped barrier along the Iguazu River, with the most dramatic section called the Devil's Throat, where massive water volumes drop into a narrow semicircular chasm. These waterfalls lie within the two national parks that protect the falls and the surrounding interior Atlantic forest. The falls form a horseshoe-shaped barrier along the Iguazu River, with the most dramatic section called the Devil's Throat, where massive water volumes drop into a narrow semicircular chasm. The mist from the falls often rises nearly 500 feet into the air, creating vivid rainbows visible from multiple viewpoints. The record number of visitors reached nearly 2 million in a year, highlighting its global significance. Thriving in the area due to the humid environment are various types of butterflies, such as the bright morpho species and the elusive owl species. Assisting in pollination, each species has specific host plants for caterpillars, showing tight ecological relationships within the forest. Different wing patterns also determine different benefits, like the bright coloration of the iridescent blue morpho butterflies helps with mate attraction and camouflage by reflecting forest light. Meanwhile, others can deter predators, confuse them through sudden flashes of colour, or simply evade them by camouflaging with the landscape. Many of these butterflies are resident species, since the humid, stable climate reduces the need for large migratory behaviour compared to temperate regions. In fact, they are endemic, evolved to survive in this specific climate and ecosystem. Another creature of flight that also inhabits the area around the falls is the vulture, though it is much less visually appealing than the butterflies. Despite being known as one of the ugliest birds, its bald head is actually an evolutionary adaptation to hygienic feeding habits. Seen perched on tall trees or cliffs as monogamous pairs or in colonies, they are well reputed as scavengers who help keep the forest clean and control the spread of disease. This is mainly done by consuming carrion, including the remains of large predators like jaguars. They possess highly acidic stomachs, capable of digesting decayed flesh and killing harmful pathogens like anthrax and botulism bacteria. When alive and not being consumed as carrion, the jaguar is famous for being the largest feline in the Americas and serves as the top predator in the Atlantic forest. Their robust build, powerful jaws and distinctive coat marked with rosette-shaped black spots allow them to dominate their habitat. Males measure up to about 8 feet in length, including the tail, and weigh as much as 310 pounds. As solitary animals outside of mating season, they are often found lounging on rocks or trees near water sources. These big cats are primarily ambush predators, stalking prey silently before an intense but short chase or pounce. They have the strongest bite force of all big cats relative to size, enabling them to crush bones and prey turtle shells. Interestingly, unlike most other cats, they often hunt in water, being strong swimmers who prefer aquatic prey. They are capable of carrying large kills, sometimes several times their size, through dense forest, or dragging them up trees to avoid scavengers or flooding. One of the most common and important prey of the jaguar is the Peccaries, pig-like mammals that live in herds. To defend themselves against predators, they exhibit complex social behaviours that include cooperative strategies such as forming defensive circles or aggressive group attacks. Their herds range widely in size, sometimes exceeding 100 individuals, providing safety through numbers. Vocalizations and scent marking also play important roles in maintaining herd cohesion. They also uniquely serve the ecosystem by dispersing seeds through their droppings, aiding forest regeneration and plant diversity. Additionally, their rooting behaviour helps aerate soil and recycle nutrients. The Atlantic forest is also home to numerous hummingbird species, including the swallow-tailed hummingbird, which adapts to various forest layers from edges to canopy. These hummingbirds exhibit strong territorial behaviour, defending rich nectar sources against competitors using aggressive chases and vocal displays. In fact, they are notably bold enough to even attack birds larger than themselves, using techniques such as dive bombing against intruders. Additionally, many species show colourful plumage, which plays roles in mate attraction and territorial signalling. Their high wing beat frequencies also produce the characteristic humming sound and enable rapid manoeuvring. In fact, the feeding habits of these hummingbirds are shaped by the need to sustain high energy demands due to rapid wing beats and hovering flight. This is because they would hover in place using powerful wing muscles, allowing them to feed without perching. Their feeding energy demands are among the highest in vertebrates, requiring frequent visits to energy-rich flowers. They tend to show preferences for nectar sources with higher sugar concentrations, at around 25 to 35%, which provide greater energy returns. Subordinate species may adopt evasive strategies, feeding during times when dominants are absent, or on less profitable nectar sources. Specific plants such as Heliconias and Bromeliads rely heavily on hummingbirds for pollination, creating a mutualistic relationship. Heliconia is known for its brightly coloured tubular flowers that thrive in the humid conditions of the Atlantic forest. Firstly, they grow as tall, herbaceous plants or small shrubs in shaded or semi-shaded forest understories. Then, long curved flowers appear that are perfectly matched to the bills of hummingbirds, facilitating nectar feeding and pollen transfer. This is possible from the plant's structure that provides nectar reservoirs deep inside, inaccessible to less adapted pollinators. In fact, its flowers produce nectar continuously throughout the day to maintain a steady food supply for visiting hummingbirds. The shape of each flower species is tailored to specific hummingbird bill shapes, reducing competition and encouraging specialised pollination. Meanwhile, the other aforementioned plant, called Bromeliads, has rosette-shaped leaves that form water-holding cups, collecting rainwater and debris. The stored water creates mini ecosystems, supporting frogs, insects, and other small organisms. They vary from ground-dwelling to epiphytic forms, with many species living high in the canopy. Nutrients from decomposing insects and plant matter within the water pools then supplement bromeliad growth in turn. The plant's ability to survive in the canopy with limited soil access demonstrates remarkable adaptation to nutrient-poor habitats. Protecting some of the last remaining substantial blocks of Atlantic forest, the Reserva Ecológica de Iguazu acts as a refuge for many threatened species. It has recorded over 485 bird species, including around 180 endemic to the Atlantic forest and numerous threatened birds. Among its abundant bird life is the rufescent tiger heron, named after its rufous-coloured neck and dark streaked plumage, which provides excellent camouflage among reeds and shaded waters. With a secretive nature, it prefers quieter, slow-flowing water bodies rather than fast streams or open lakes, making it less commonly seen as well. Typically found sharing the same areas as the heron is the parrot snake, known for its bright green coloration that blends with the canopy foliage. As it moves with agility through the dense foliage, it relies on speed and camouflage to avoid predators since it is non-venomous. However, it is still an active hunter for its own prey, which is most commonly tree frogs that also dwell in the same habitats. This snake is typically solitary, except during the breeding season, during which females lay eggs, with clutch sizes varying between species. Further up in the forest canopy, marmosets are busy moving swiftly and acrobatically among thin branches. This is made easy due to their small size and claw-like nails, which help them cling to tree trunks and branches, unlike many primates with flat nails. Additionally, the voluminous tufts of fur around their ears aid in communication and species recognition. As social animals, they live in groups typically consisting of 3 to 15 individuals, which often have a dominant breeding pair. Breeding behaviour is cooperative, with all group members participating in raising young, especially the subordinate members. As omnivores, they also have specialised teeth that help gouge bark to access sap, which is a crucial energy source. Sharing similar feeding grounds and diet, the blue and yellow macaw thrives in the forest, along with the marmosets, due to the abundance of fruits and nuts in the environment. In fact, their strong, curved black beaks are specially adapted to crack open nuts and seeds, while their large wings and strong flight muscles allow them long-distance flights across forest canopies. Known for loud, raucous calls used to maintain contact across the forest, they can live 30 to 35 years in the wild. Much like other brid species, they form monogamous pairs, often mating for life. In fact, the brighter the male's plumage, the more attractive it is to females, playing a role in mate selection. Well regarded today as one of the most popular animals due to its merchandising and relaxed attitude, the capybara is the world's largest rodent. It is commonly found near wetlands and riverbanks in the Atlantic forest, especially in river basins like the Paraná. This is because they are semi-aquatic, making them excellent swimmers with webbed feet, aiding movement in water. Their eyes, ears and nostrils are positioned high on their heads, allowing them to breathe and watch for predators while mostly submerged. It also helps that they are highly sociable animals, often living in groups to protect their offspring together. They are a major food source for jaguars, particularly in wetland and rainforest areas where both species coexist. Serra da Cachoeira is a mountain range approximately 310 miles long, spanning parts of Minas Gerais, São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro states. Its name derives from a Native American word meaning the place where the clouds lie, referring to the frequent mist and clouds in the mountains. The mountains have a complex geological formation dating back to the Archaeozoic era, forming rugged terrain with valleys, cliffs and plateaus. Among these formations, a towering granite rock formation called Pedra do Baú can be found. Composed of 3 main rock formations, it offers extensive trails ranging from around 4 to 12 miles, with varying difficulty levels from beginner to advanced climbers. Hiking often begins at nearby waterfalls, passing through Araucaria, pine forests, orchids and ferns, with its first recorded ascent happening in 1940. The area became a designated natural monument, protecting approximately 7,790 acres within the Mantiqueira mosaic of conservation units. The monument itself also contains rare plant species such as endangered ferns and Araucaria pines. The Serra da Mantiqueira is notably home to the woolly spider monkey, an endangered species that is currently known as the largest primate in the Americas. Arboreal and diurnal, they spend around half their day resting, with the rest devoted to foraging, socialising, and travelling through the forest canopy. Locomotion primarily involves brachiation, swinging hand over hand through the trees with agility. Although they are also sociable, they form more fluid social groups, often referred to as fission-fusion, where group composition changes regularly. Mating is promiscuous, with females mating with multiple males during estrus. However, human activities remain the primary threat, causing population declines. Foraging and feeding on the same fruits as the woolly spider monkeys are the tanagers, making them important seed dispersers in this ecosystem. Many species undertake small-scale movements to track fruiting cycles, demonstrating ecological flexibility. Their bright plumage varies greatly between species, aiding in mate attraction and species recognition. In fact, this plumage diversity is also often used as a visual cue in social and mating interactions. Most tanager species in the Atlantic forest are resident, although some engage in local altitudinal movements related to fruit availability and breeding. One of the more widespread tanager species within the forest is the green-headed tanager, distinctive for its bright aquamarine green head, black upper back, and contrasting yellow-orange or red rump. Despite how bright its plumage is, it still manages to remain inconspicuous among foliage, though it remains a favourite among birdwatchers. It forages mainly in the upper canopy, but can occasionally be seen in orchards and parks, and even occasionally visits bird feeders, showing adaptability to human-altered environments. On the opposite end of the spectrum, commonly found on the forest floor of the Atlantic forest, are armadillos. Their digging and burrowing activities play an essential ecological role by aerating the soil, which improves nutrient cycling and promotes plant growth. These creatures have strong forelimbs with sharp claws designed for digging burrows and foraging for insects, roots, and small invertebrates. They are mostly solitary and nocturnal or crepuscular, avoiding the heat of the day. In fact, their burrows shelter them from extreme temperatures, while their own bodies are also covered with bony, armoured plates for protection against predators. Potential dangers to them include not only the typical big cats and birds of prey, but also road mortality and hunting by humans. Targeted and eaten by armadillos are the ants, insects that are known to come in huge numbers, being part of colonies that consist of thousands to millions of individuals with complex hierarchies. These insects are also the most diverse, with over 1,000 species in the Atlantic forest. They exhibit a wide range of physical and behavioural adaptations suited to diverse niches, from leaf litter dwellers to canopy specialists. Their social structure allows task division among workers, soldiers, and reproductives, maximising colony efficiency. Workers forage for food cooperatively, often in long trails, and defend territory aggressively, though they are also able to expand the colony and establish new nesting sites. Despite their tiny sizes, they contribute greatly to nutrient cycling by aerating soil through digging. The scenic route of Caminhos dos Cânions do Sul is located in the Serra mountain range, featuring deep canyons carved by geological processes over 130 million years ago. The canyons were formed during the breakup of the ancient supercontinent Gondwana through volcanic activity and river erosion. Ancient indigenous trails and later mule paths called tropeiros cut through the region, connecting lowland and plateau cultures. They also contain complex ecosystems with endemic species, serving as refuges for rare plants and animals. Such species include the plush-crested jay, iconic for its expressive crest feathers that can be raised or flattened depending on mood or social interaction. Social and vocal, the plush crest is often raised in communication with other jays, signalling alert or dominance. Although they adapt well to forest edges, they are vulnerable to extensive forest loss, On the topic of forest edges, another bird that shares the area as its home range is the green parrot, standing out for their vocal communication, including loud calls used to maintain flock cohesion. Like most other birds, their diet consists of seeds, fruits and flower parts, foraging during daylight hours in flocks. But unlike a lot of other birds, the green parrot often visits urban areas, adapting well to human presence with access to gardens and orchards. This is because they possess agile flying skills and sharp manoeuvring skills, enabling them to navigate between forest patches and human architecture. However, they are then often subjected to illegal pet trade and hunting due to their colourful feathers and ability to thrive in urban areas. Another creature of flight that coexists within the same area is the roadside hawk, a small raptor that likes to build large stick nests high in trees. They adopt a sit-and-wait hunting strategy, simply observing for prey as they perch until they find the perfect timing to swoop down to capture. Due to its smaller size compared to other hawks in the region, many smaller birds do not perceive it as a major threat, showing limited alarm behaviour. They are often seen hunting along road edges and in agricultural landscapes, giving it its name. Renowned as one of the largest canyons in the region, Ita-Embazenyo Canyon is known for its towering sheer walls formed from basalt rock, created through volcanic activity and erosive forces millions of years ago. Walking trails lead visitors along the canyon rim and down into adjacent forest areas, offering varied vantage points of the geological formation and surrounding vegetation. Its impressive vertical drops also create microclimates that support different plant communities from the canyon floor to the rim. It hosts multiple waterfalls, including the characteristic Veu das Noivas waterfall. Veu das Noivas, meaning bridal veil, is a delicate waterfall, dropping in thin streams resembling a wedding veil. The waterfall drops approximately 330 feet from basalt cliffs into the canyon below, and is part of the natural hydrological system formed as rivers carve through volcanic rock. It serves as a source of moisture for nearby vegetation, hosting ferns and mosses that thrive on the mist. Water flow varies seasonally, with heavier cascades following the rainy season. The South American coati is an opportunistic, omnivorous mammal that possesses flexible snouts used for rooting through leaf litter and probing crevices for insects, fruits, small reptiles, and eggs. Found foraging in both the understory and canopy of the Atlantic forest, it has sharp claws that aid in climbing trees and breaking into termite mounds or bird nests. They mainly live in female-led social groups called bands that can range from a few to over 20 individuals, with males mostly solitary outside the breeding season. Their combination of terrestrial and arboreal foraging strategies allows access to diverse food sources. These creatures suffer not only from human activities, but also from large predators such as large felines and maned wolves. The maned wolf is the largest canid in South America, notable for its long legs and distinctive reddish coat. Despite resembling foxes, it belongs to its own distinct genus, Chrysocheon, with long legs and large ears that distinguish it from other canids. They use a unique hunting style of slow stalking, with vertical leaps to flush prey from tall grass, as they easily blend in with the natural backdrop. Another important prey species for the maned wolf is the Azara's agouti, which is also hunted by local indigenous groups such as the Pataxo. In spite of its small and stocky build, the animal's legs and body morphology allow swift movement and quick escapes through dense vegetation. Their seed-caching behaviour is crucial for forest ecology, as many seeds germinate where buried. This species also balances predator risk with food resource management through intelligent foraging. Cachoeira do Catoa is a scenic waterfall located within a forested area, renowned for its clear natural pools and peaceful surroundings that draw visitors seeking quiet and natural beauty amidst forest settings. It is part of a watershed contributing to regional river systems, supporting aquatic habitats downstream. The waterfall flows constantly, feeding a freshwater stream that supports rich local flora and fauna. Notable for cooperative hunting strategies, bush dogs are small, elusive canids that use group coordination to flush animals from dense cover. Although they have short legs and compact bodies suited for navigating dense underbrush, they also boast partially webbed feet that help them swim across forest streams and flooded areas. These features, adapted for semi-aquatic environments, are typically uncommon for canids. Due to how elusive they are, sightings are rare, and much about their behaviour remains understudied. On the other hand, primates such as the howler monkeys are loud and proud about their presence in the forest. Their vocalizations carry throughout the dense canopy, thanks to their large hyoid bones that amplify their calls. with prehensile tails serving as a fifth limb, allowing for strong grips and enhanced mobility through trees. These monkeys choose sleeping sites in tall, open trees for safety and predator monitoring. Groups shift sleeping sites frequently, likely to avoid parasites and predators. These monkeys mainly feed on leaves, fruits and flowers, though they can demonstrate dietary flexibility, adjusting food intake based on seasonal availability. They are adapted for such a folivorous, frugivorous diet, mainly due to their large, complex stomachs that help ferment leaves and aid digestion. With fruits and seeds being important parts of the diets of numerous animals inhabiting the forest, fig trees and other various fruit trees serve as keystone species. Fig trees belong to the genus Ficus, producing figs that mature asynchronously, ensuring availability throughout the year. Other fruit trees in the forest also produce seasonal and sporadic crops that complement the diet of fruit-dependent animals. As they form integral parts of the forest canopy and understory, they serve as critical food resources for countless species, maintaining ecosystem stability. A great example of an animal that is heavily dependent on these trees is the fruit-eating bat, as they are crucial seed dispersers who contribute to genetic exchange and forest connectivity. Equipped with a robust jaw and sharp teeth designed to tear and consume various fruit types efficiently, they are willing to forage over large areas, often travelling between forest patches and restored areas. Although they may also supplement their diets with occasional nectar or insects, they still have a major preference for fruits, with studies recording one individual travelling more than 20 miles between feeding areas in fragmented landscapes. Another animal that possesses a fruit-heavy diet is the national bird of Brazil itself, the rufous-bellied thrush. Often foraging on the ground and in shrubs, it uses its strong legs and feet to allow efficient hopping across forest floors and garden grounds. It is also renowned for its beautiful, melodic song that signals territorial ownership, as well as mating calls to attract females. As a common garden bird, it forms part of the everyday natural soundtrack for humans. During breeding season, it would build cup-shaped nests in shrubs or low trees with its chosen mate to raise its offspring. Females lay 2 to 3 eggs, which are incubated for about 13 to 15 days, and both parents feed and care for hatchlings, which fledge in roughly 14 to 16 days. A frequent dweller of the forest canopies and areas near water sources is the green iguana, a prominent arboreal lizard with a powerful tail that acts as a defense mechanism and aids in swimming. They use their keen eyesight to identify ripe leaves, fruits, and even bird eggs among the branches, while their specific coloration helps them camouflage among the foliage. Iguanas also have the ability to select young leaves, showing high visual acuity for food discrimination. These lizards would lay eggs in burrows within sandy soil or leaf litter, and hatchlings are independent from birth and grow rapidly, staying lower in the vegetation for safety. Adults generally stay within stable territories, while juveniles move between the lower and upper canopy layers, adjusting their movements to food availability and safety. The famous coral reefs in Rio de Fogo's coastal area have a legacy of contributing to regional biodiversity and coastal protection. Local communities have traditionally relied on fishing and the sustainable use of marine resources. The area also features natural pools formed by coral reefs, ideal for swimming and relaxing. Another scenic waterway in Brazil is the Punão River, recognised for its exceptional water clarity, allowing visibility deep into its freshwater ecosystem. It winds through forested landscapes, supporting a variety of aquatic and terrestrial species. The river is part of a larger watershed, critical for regional hydrology and ecosystem services. The surrounding riparian vegetation is also important in maintaining water quality and providing habitat corridors. The area's crystal clear waters allow excellent visibility for snorkelers, revealing brightly coloured schools of fish and coral formations. These tourism activities around snorkeling and boat rides have become important economic drivers. Amongst the colourful fish that can be found near the reefs as well as mangroves is the sergeant majorfish, named for the 5 black vertical stripes on its body that resemble military insignia. It boasts a laterally compressed body and forked tail, enabling quick movements within reef and mangrove environments. Its colours also phase based on behaviour and environment. The fish typically form large feeding aggregations of hundreds of individuals, being omnivores who feed on algae, invertebrate larvae, planktonic organisms, and small fish. Juveniles also sometimes act as cleaners, removing parasites from larger species. These feeding aggregations help control populations of small marine prey. Another fish that contributes to maintaining the health of the coral reefs is the parrotfish, possessing fused teeth that form a strong, parrot-like beak used to scrape algae off coral and rocks. Similar to the sergeant majorfish, this fish's colour patterns vary throughout their life stages, aiding in social interactions. Many species can change sex, starting life as females and later becoming males, which helps adapt population dynamics. They spend much of the day grazing on algae, which prevents algal overgrowth that suffocates corals and helps clear up space for coral larvae settlement. As they bite coral to access algae, they also naturally produce sand, contributing to beach formation. Unfortunately, overfishing has reduced parrotfish numbers, leading to unchecked algae growth on reefs. The only herbivore that still serves as a coral reef helper is the green sea turtle, which is also notably one of the largest sea turtles. After travelling extensive distances between feeding grounds and nesting beaches, their serrated jaws evolved to efficiently eat marine plants like seagrass and algae. Other than the reefs, they also maintain the seagrass bed health by digesting seagrass and excreting carbonate sand, which in turn also supports numerous marine species. Their shells also host symbiotic species like barnacles and fish, which clean algae. Serra do Rio do Rastro is a mountainous region famous for its serpentine road that ascends approximately 4,924 feet over short distances through numerous hairpin turns. The name translates to mountain range of the trail of the river, referring to the winding roads and river systems carving through the rugged terrain. The road was constructed over decades and completed in the 1970s, designed to connect coastal cities with inland plateaus. The region itself also features sharp altitude changes, leading to microclimates supporting varied flora along its elevation gradient. It is one of the highest paved mountain roads in the region, drawing visitors for its dramatic driving experience and scenic overlooks. Maintaining the health and regeneration of the ecosystems of the Amazon and surrounding forest regions is the Brazilian tapir, nicknamed the gardeners of the forest. As the largest surviving native terrestrial mammal in the region, they boast a variety of natural skills and instincts, such as having a flexible, trunk-like snout used to grasp foliage and browse through dense vegetation, and being skilled swimmers to evade predators. Unfortunately, they have a lot of competition with livestock, which negatively affects available habitat and resources. Found in the more remote areas of the forest is the puma, where it maintains large home ranges often exceeding 78 square miles. Movement patterns depend on prey availability and human disturbance, with pumas avoiding heavily developed areas. One of the most adaptable large cats and an apex predator, the puma has muscular bodies, powerful limbs, and sharp claws, enabling it to stalk and ambush prey efficiently. It also exhibits excellent night vision and acute hearing for hunting, mostly during dawn, dusk, and night time. Though it preys mainly on medium to large mammals, it is known to also adapt its diet based on prey availability, sometimes preying more on smaller animals in fragmented forests. The most notable animal that the puma tends to hunt is the brocket deer, featuring a compact-sized body and forest-adapted morphology that differentiates them from larger deer. They have been studied for their use of latrines and scent marking as a sophisticated form of territorial communication. Preference for forest interior and use of dense cover also reflects their shy and secretive nature. These specific deer are rarely seen due to their nocturnal habits and secretive behaviour, as well as being highly alert due to their large ears that are suited for navigating dense vegetation and detecting predators. Their coat colour ranges from reddish-brown to grey, providing camouflage in forest environments. They are strictly herbivorous, feeding on leaves, fruits, shoots and other forest vegetation. Itatiaia National Park is the first national park established in the region, created in 1937. It spans about 116 square miles across mountainous terrain, with altitudes ranging from around 1,640 feet in the lowlands up to 9,157 feet at Pico das Agulhas Negras, the highest peak. The park includes distinct ecological zones due to its broad elevation range, featuring Atlantic forest at lower altitudes and high mountain grasslands at upper elevations. It is known for its rich biodiversity, housing over 380 bird species, including many endemic to the region. The park's waterways serve as important water sources, containing springs that feed multiple river basins. Its accessibility and distinct zones attract eco-tourists and birdwatchers, eager to see diverse habitats in one location. In the open areas near the forest, the crested caracara is a bird of prey that belongs to the falcon family, sporting a distinctive black crest and orange-red facial skin. However, it behaves differently from typical falcons, combining scavenging and hunting habits. As a surprisingly opportunistic feeder, it would follow large predators or human activities that expose remains or disturbed prey. It can also hunt live prey by walking or running on foot. A rival predator within the same area is the ocelot, which has an ecological flexibility that allows survival in fragmented and varied habitats. Like many other big cats, it has a strong, agile body, sharp, retractable claws, and excellent night vision, suited for stealth hunting in dense forests. It tends to fill a mesopredator role, controlling populations of smaller mammals and birds. Cascata do Caraco is a prominent waterfall in Caraco State Park, located in the Serra Gaúcha region. It features a dramatic freefall cascade of about 430 feet, making it one of the tallest and most iconic waterfalls in the area. The South American grey fox typically frequents the area as an adaptable and opportunistic canid. Featuring a grey coat and bushy tail tipped in black, it notably has occasional conflicts with humans due to predation on poultry. Despite being a smaller predator, it is also known to be bold enough to compete with larger fox species, though it occupies different ecological niches. A rodent and a major prey of the fox is the Brazilian guinea pig, which feeds mainly on grasses, seeds, leaves, stems, and occasionally roots or tubers. In fact, it is a key prey linking food webs along forest edges despite its small size. Unlike some rodents, these guinea pigs do not dig burrows but navigate through surface tunnels in dense vegetation. They maintain small home ranges, typically between 500 and 1,000 square metres, with males having larger overlapping ranges that include multiple females. Despite the abundance of wildlife and landmarks, the Atlantic forest unfortunately faces severe threats that jeopardise its existence and the survival of countless species. Large-scale logging and land clearing for agriculture and urban development have drastically reduced forest cover. Conversion of forest land into pastures and monoculture plantations, such as soy and sugarcane, diminishes habitat quality. Rapid population growth in cities bordering the forest leads to urban sprawl into forest areas. these threats have intensified effects on an ecosystem already reduced to about 15% of its original size. In fact, loss of the forest also affects millions of people relying on its resources for clean water and climate regulation. The Atlantic forest's future depends on addressing these mounting threats through sustainable land use, strong protective measures, and community engagement to preserve the remaining forests and restore what has been lost. This is the Atlantic forest, a land of hidden wonders and remarkable architectural marvels. Now, if you don't want to miss the most unreal ghost towns of Utah, check out this video.